Hello students, this is Mr. Girma, your English teacher from Lucybridge Academy. How are you doing these days? Then today we see about this relative pronoun as a subject. When the relative pronoun is used as a subject and object, we'll see that one because the usage when it is used as a subject and object, there are key points that you are expected to be familiar with. If you don't know that one, you may make a mistake, yes? And then we'll see that one. Then basically here you do have a relative pronoun. When we say we do have different types of this relative pronoun, but let me show you the examples with this, with who and that can be the object of the relative clauses. A relative pronoun such as who or that can be the object of a relative clause. Rather than the object, we better say the subject. The subject, correct it like this, yes, please. The subject of, sorry, here, let me make it. That means yes, this is not the object, the subject. The subject of a relative clause. So let's see here. Nardos talked to a couple who were staying at the campsite. Now look for this sentence. They were staying at the campsite. They serve as what? As a subject here. And then when we write as a clause here, they is replaced by who? Yes, it is replaced by who. Therefore, this who serves as what? As a subject, because it replaced the subject they. The same thing here. The postcard that came this, that replaced what? It came this morning. It is replaced by what? By that. Yes? It is replaced by that. And then this, it is replaced by that. Therefore, don't forget that. That means, okay, that serves as a subject because it here is a subject. Easily, let me tell you, better to keep in your mind. When a relative pronoun, or else, let me give you another example here, yes? Let me give you, maybe to make clear for you, yes? A man who worked with you last year gave me this book, let's say. Who worked? Look here. Now who is followed by what? By a verb. Very simple. When the relative pronoun is followed by a verb, that is used as a subject. This is a subject. But look here. A man who you met at supermarket is my neighbor. This is to make very clear for you. Look here. Who here is subject. When there is a subject, this who serves as what? As an object. It's very simple. When who or else relative pronoun is followed immediately by a verb, that is a subject. When it is followed immediately by an object, that is an object. So when the relative pronoun serves as an object, we can omit. It is possible to omit. We'll see that one later on. The other important point that I need to tell you that once after we use this object relative pronoun, we don't need to write maybe in the same clause what we call, okay, this object pronoun, who you met him. For instance here, if we say who you met him, this is wrong because this one is already replaced by what? By who. And then let me show you here the example. Things will be very clear for you, yes? And again here, a relative pronoun can also be the object of a relative clause. Mike and Nardos are visiting a woman who they met on holiday. They met her. Her is what? It is object. Therefore here who, her is replaced by what? Her is replaced by who, and then her for this sentence is an object. Therefore who here is what? It is object. And again, don't forget, immediately it is followed by subject. Therefore that relative pronoun is object. This is what you have to remember. Again here, Mike and Nardos, the same thing, yes? the same thing, maybe the sentence is the same, but the key point that you have to remember is that when the relative pronoun comes before a subject, and then that relative pronoun serves as an object, this is very technical and easy way to identify that one, as you don't be confused. Then why are we interested to be familiar to identify whether a relative pronoun serves as an object or else as a subject? One, as we don't write again object once after the relative pronoun is used as an object. Remember. The other one is when the relative pronoun serves as an object, we can omit, possible to omit. For instance, here, we can leave out the relative pronoun when it is object of the relative clause. For instance, the man who here is object because it is followed by what? Mulu, that is the subject. So when this is used as an object, we can omit and say the man Mulu saw at the concert is Sarah's boss. It's the same thing here. That is an old castle that we visited. So that is an old castle we visited. And then that is why we are interested to identify. Yes? So as it is possible to omit when the relative pronoun serves as an object. The other important point that I need to tell you about this relative pronoun is this one. Is there are only what we call, which and whom are preceded, or else preposition come only before whom and which. And then we can say to which, sorry, let me make it black. For whom we can say like this, but don't forget we can't say to who or else for that. That means what I need to tell you that here, this, that, and who are not preceded totally by preposition. Yes? Preposition may come only before what? Which and whom. When we talk about what we call things and like that, we can use which. When we talk about people and other things, we can use whom. This is, I hope that one. And then example, was that the restaurant to which, have you seen? To which we say, yes, to which you normally go. The sales manager is the person from whom. From whom. We can't say from who I obtain the figures. Yes? Notice we cannot put preposition before that and who. This is what you have to remember. Yes? Then, in formal English, whom is used when the object of the relative clause is a person. It's informal. For instance, the person whom the police were questioning has now been released. Don't forget, we cannot use whom in a place of subject. That means in a place of subject. Now, I am very confident that you are very familiar and identify which relative pronoun can serve as an object and as a subject. Don't forget. Who can serve both as an object and object, yes? But whom serves only in a place of object. This is what you have to remember. Yes? So having the Nardos, whom scored a remarkable result, we can't say. Because this is a place of what? The place of subject. Because immediately what comes? The verb. This is a place of subject. Therefore, we can't say this is wrong. And then we say, Nardos, whom she got a scholarship for America, scored a remarkable result in English exam. Have you seen this? And then because here is the place of object, that means we can use whom. Whom and who. A relative pronoun can be the object of a preposition. Look here. This is the bus that I have been waiting for. Yes? And then we don't say, I have been waiting for the bus. We don't say here again that I have been waiting for the bus. We don't write already for the bus. The bus is already replaced by what? By that. This is what you have to remember. It is replaced already by that. And then we don't say again for the bus. The same thing here. The restaurant that we normally go to is closed today. Yes, go to. To is missed here. You can add this. And then we normally go to the restaurant. Therefore, now that is what? It is object. It's object. The restaurant that we normally go to is closed. Yes? And then to is, we don't, that means, after to, we don't say there is a, this is to. To is the preposition because this is the preposition already. A relative pronoun can be the object of a preposition. So we don't write the restaurant. The restaurant is already replaced by what? By that. This is what we have to remember. And then that is why we call that a relative pronoun can be the object of a preposition. This is what you have to remember. So this is what I have for today about this relative pronoun when they are used as an object and a subject. And again, don't forget that identifying this one helps you as you can omit when the relative pronoun serves as an object, and then as you don't write what we call object on the same clause once after the relative pronoun is used as an object. Yes, this is what you have to remember. Then student, this is what I have for today. If you do have any question, or else if there is any point that may not be clear, you can write under comment. Really, I can make for you further clear. It doesn't have a problem. So this is what I need to tell you for today. This much is enough. So till we meet next time, have a good time.